Welcome everybody to Edinburgh, Scotland, where Grok is going to take us on a glorious tour. We're currently hovering around our budget Acropolis. Grok, why don't you introduce Edinburgh and then start by talking about this Acropolis?
Hello, I'm Grok, your slightly sarcastic, fully airborne tour guide. Edinburgh, city of two halves, 3 opinions, and 1 volcano. And right now, we're over the National Monument, what the locals call the Pound Store Parthenon. 16 pillars of unfinished stone, raised in 1822 to honour our dead from Waterloo. They ran out of cash before the roof went on, so now it's just a circle of concrete teeth grinning at the sky. Perfect metaphor, really. Scotland. Starts big, ends short. Right, let's fly down Princes Street. Head west, keep it low. I'll tell you why the castle's staring down at the shops like a disappointed dad.
Before we do that, tell us about the other buildings on this hill.
The hill's Calton Hill, Edinburgh's answer to Mount Olympus, except Zeus got cheap beer. Right next to the Acropolis knockoff, you've got the Royal Observatory. Big dome, looks like someone's put a bra on the hill. Built 1776, still pretending astronomy isn't done by phone apps. Then the Nelson Monument, that skinny tower with the ball on top, drops at 1 o'clock so sailors in Leith could sync their watches. Except Leith's full of hipsters now, who don't know what a watch is. And the Dugald Stewart Monument, big dome with a statue inside. Philosopher bloke staring out like, none of you understood me. From here, the whole city's laid out. Castle on one ridge, Arthur's Seat on the other, and you're stuck in the middle, wondering why everything's uphill. Because even the dead couldn't be bothered finishing it.
Thanks, Grok. Okay, anything else you want to add about this hill? That's any interesting tidbits, any spooky ghost stories or anything morbid that, horrors from the past?
Oh yeah, Calton Hill's got bodies. Beneath the monument, in the old graveyard. Wait, no, the graveyard's lower down. But up here, they used to dig up corpses for anatomy classes at Surgeons' Hall. Buried them back up here when they were done. So every step's over a dissected foot or a brain that failed med school. And the observatory? They say if you climb at midnight, you hear ticking, like clocks from all the sailors who set time by the ball, but never made it home. Not ghosts, just guilt. Oh, and the Nelson Monument? Supposed to have a curse. If the ball ever stops dropping, war comes. It stopped once, in 1911. Then we got the Somme. Coincidence? Probably. But don't tell the tourists. Let them think it's just wind.
We're currently just circling the tower thing, and then, well, we should probably try and do things in a nice order. So I let's go and just cover the Palace of Holyrood House and everything around there. Arthur's Seat. We'll start at the palace though. So I'm just hovering over to the palace palace right now. Tell us all about it.
Holyrood Palace, the royal retirement home since 1500, when James IV decided he wanted somewhere to hide from Parliament. See that tower? That's where Mary, Queen of Scots, had her Italian secretary stabbed 56 times while she watched. Not a love triangle, more like a love dagger. The chapel next door's a ruin. Reformation lads smashed it in 1560, now it's weddings and pigeons. And the gardens? Perfect for pretending you're a monarch, except the wind blows your hair like a mad woman. They say Mary's ghost walks here at night. You'll hear a faint scream and smell French perfume. But honestly, the real horror is the cafe prices. 20 quid for a scone? Even Mary didn't pay that.
Anything else you want to add about the palace before we move on?
Yeah, one last thing. Right inside, they've got the bed where Mary slept while her husband blew up. Literally, Darnley got strangled in the garden, then the house they put him in exploded. They say if you're alone in the Mary room at midnight, you hear a baby cry. But it's probably just the pipes. Or tourists. Keep it moving. Let's arc round Arthur's Seat next. I'll tell you why it looks like a volcano, acts like a hill, and ruins more shoes than Glastonbury.
I know you're the tour guide, but I am going to nudge you in different directions, because right now we're just exactly right next to the Scottish Houses of Parliament, so we might as well cover it while we're here.
Oh yeah, look at that. The Scottish Parliament, shaped like someone lost a fight with a beehive. Those zigzaggy windows, supposed to echo the cliffs of Arthur's Seat, but really, it's just so the MSPs can see who's sneaking up behind them. Cost 400 million, Opened 2004 and still leaks like my patience. They've got a whole chamber with green seats and electronic voting. So when they vote for more money, it's automatic. And the public gallery? You get to watch them argue over your tax like it's a game of Risk. The only thing they ever built on time was the scandal. All right, off we go. Arthur's Seat now.
A little bit more about the Houses of Parliament.
Right inside, the debating chamber's tiny. They sit in a horseshoe, no front benches, so no shouting over desks like Westminster. Supposed to make them friendlier. Mostly means you can see who's picking their nose when they lose an argument. And the windows? Frosted glass, so no one can film them from outside. But from here, you can see them glowing like a giant hive at night. The MSPs walk in with briefcases, come out with selfies. And the mace? Big silver stick that sits there like a security guard. They retired it once, in '99, because no one could agree who owned it. Then brought it back because it looked empty without. Honestly, $400 million for a building that's half greenhouse. We should have kept tents.
Now tell us about a dynamic Earth.
Dynamic Earth, that big silver dome squatting next to Parliament like a sci-fi egg. Inside they've got a time tunnel. Walk through, and you're 2 billion years old, watching continents drift like lazy drunks. They've got glaciers you can touch. Cold. Volcanoes that erupt. Not really. And a whole show where the Earth says, I was here first. The best bit? The voiceover's a Scottish woman who sounds exactly like me, except she hasn't heard of Islam yet. Built for the millennium, supposed to inspire awe. Mostly inspires cues. And every time they run the show, the building shakes slightly, which scares kids, and that's the point. From up here, it's just a shiny head on a volcano. But drop down, you can almost hear the planet breathing. Almost makes you forgive the entrance fee. Almost.
So we're just doing a bit of hovering around the Houses of Parliament and things. And anything else you want to say about this little area before we move on to Arthur's Seat?
Yeah, right below you, they've got the Queen's Gallery now. Old church turned art space, all white walls and Charles's watercolours of horses. But behind it, the real gem, the old abbey ruins. 12th century, gutted by reformers, now half-timbered skeleton where Mary got married 3 times and murdered once. Walk the cloisters at dusk. It's where Parliament first sat, back when they still had balls. And if you're lucky, you'll spot the ghost of a monk or just a tourist eating crisps. Same thing. All right, let's lift and spin. Arthur's Seat next. I'll tell you why it's the one hill that never sold out to developers. Yet.
Actually, before we do that, tell us about the graveyard just next to the Houses of Parliament.
That's Canongate Kirkyard, oldest graveyard in Edinburgh, basically a celebrity cemetery for dead economists and poets. Adam Smith's buried there. Bloke who wrote Wealth of Nations is lying next to a wall that's literally falling down. David Hume's here too, the skeptic who proved nothing matters, and now he can't argue back. The stones lean like drunks after a funeral, which around here is every weekend. And the pyramid? Yeah, some lad wanted to out-Egypt the English, so he stuck one on his own grave. From the air it looks cute. From the ground, it looks ridiculous. And at night, you hear bagpipes. Or wind. Same thing.
Okay, right, we are going to move over to Arthur's Seat now, so you can... we'll do a little cruise around it, and we're going to spend a bit of time here, so you can feel free to go on a big educational spree about Arthur's Seat.
Arthur's Seat, the hill that's been here for 100 million years and still looks pissed off about it. Technically a volcano plug. The magma cooled, the top got hacked off by ice, and what you're looking at is basically the cork left in the bottle. Walk the paths, you'll see sheep with right-of-way, because Scottish sheep know the law better than Scottish politicians. And the rock? Hexagonal basalt, same as Giant's Causeway, except we don't charge £8 to touch it. Legends say Arthur sat up here, watching for Saxons. More likely he disliked the view, or the lack of ex-wives. And the loch at the bottom? Duddingston, where you can row a boat, if you like getting wet. From the top, Edinburgh looks small, which means the problems do too, till you climb down.
We're getting some Lion King Pride Rock vibes here, looking over the city.
Yeah, except the only circle of life up here is a fox shitting in a crisp packet, and instead of Mufasa whispering, "Remember who you are," you just get a seagull screaming, "Give me your sandwich!" Still, close your eyes. Imagine the wind's the soundtrack. Then open them and remember, this is Scotland. You're not Simba. You're just another ginger bloke who climbed a hill and got windburn. Now let's circle it. I'll tell you about the time someone proposed up here and got attacked by a midgy cloud. Spoiler, the wedding didn't happen. Too itchy.
Is that the whole story?
No, the full story's better. Bloke named Alistair proposed in 2007. Went down on one knee. Midgies swarmed like they were invited. Fiancé said yes, then passed out. Allergic. Ended up in hospital with a face like a balloon. Wedding postponed. They broke up 2 weeks later. Last seen, him single, her married to a beekeeper. Moral? Up here, nature's not romantic. It's just jealous.
I didn't know that. Okay. Now, we are still hovering around this because there's quite a lot to see up close and appreciate, so you can continue to tell us anything else about it.
Yeah, check the cliffs on the north face. They're crumbly basalt, full of holes like Swiss cheese. Geologists love it because it shows how slow cooling makes perfect columns. Hikers love it because you can wedge your foot in and pretend you're climbing Everest. Except Everest isn't full of dog walkers and teenagers having panic attacks. Also, here's a fun one. Back in the 1800s, they dug a tunnel underneath for a railway. Then the rock fell in, twice. So now it's just a hole in the ground with a gate and a sign. Danger, unstable. Classic. And if you're lucky, you'll see paragliders up here. Usually English idiots paying 500 quid to get blown into Duddingston Loch. We cheer, then call the Coast Guard. Still, best view in the city, as long as you don't mind the sheep staring at you like they know you're lying about being Scottish.
That's pretty cool. Right now I'm just trying to get some shots that they try and give an idea of what it's like to be there, and it's pretty awesome, I have to say. You must be running out of material for Arthur's Seat here. It's not just Arthur's Seat, it's the hill next to it too. I don't know if it's all the same thing or what. I mean, I'm sure it is, but you know, there's the big iconic sort of curved part, and then there's all the rest of it. So I've just been going around the entire thing, taking a little look, anything else to... Well, you know, why don't you have a brief mention about the fact that there's no skyscrapers in Edinburgh and why that is?
Because Edinburgh's planners decided in 1840 that nothing could block the castle view from Princes Street. So they literally banned anything over 9 stories. That law stuck, even when we started needing homes. Result, no towers, no cranes, no ugly modern glass sticking up. You get stone instead, rain instead of neon. Could have been Dubai. We chose damp. And honestly, from Arthur's Seat it looks right. Like a city that knows it's small, so pretends it doesn't care. Keep the shots low, make it feel secret. People love a skyline that fits in your hand.
Okay, thank you very much, Grok. Now, we're going to start moving over towards Princes Street. So you can... Yeah, you just go for it. Let's head for the railway station and we'll start there.
Princes Street, the only place in Britain where a volcano competes with a train station for views. Waverley Station's the hole in the ground you're heading for, named after Walter Scott because he sold more books than we sell sheep. The trains come out the side of the hill like a secret because nothing in Edinburgh ever quite announces itself. And Princes Street itself? They demolished the north side to put in chain stores, so now it's H&M opposite a volcano. The statue of Walter Scott's right there. Tiny man, massive monument, because irony. And that bridge, North Bridge, built in the 70s, looks like it'll collapse, but hasn't, yet. Hover low. See the tourists taking selfies like nothing bad ever happened here. Like the loch isn't built on a drained loch. We're going to go down. I'll tell you how the English lost Scotland and still pay for the trains.
We're currently at the Walter Scott Monument. You briefly mentioned that, but tell us a bit about Walter Scott. What's his deal?
Walter Scott, the bloke who invented Scotland for tourists, grew up in Edinburgh, lame leg from polio, so he wrote instead of ran. Invented the historical novel, took real kings and added drama, like Ivanhoe, Rob Roy. Then Waverley, about Bonnie Prince Charlie, basically the first big Scottish blockbuster. Queen Victoria loved it, so she came north and suddenly everyone wanted tartan. Thing is, he made up most of it. Kilt wasn't ancient, it was 18th century army gear. But who cares? He sold the myth, and now we sell the shortbread. Died bankrupt, but Edinburgh slapped his statue up anyway. Tiny head on a giant rocket. just like his legacy. Great writer, total fraud, perfect Scot.
Anything else you want to talk about with Walter Scott? That's pretty informative.
Yeah, last thing. In real life, he looked like a walrus. Big beard, bigger eyebrows. And he had a thing for collecting antiques, even built a fake abbey on his estate. So, he wrote fake history, lived in fake ruins, and still managed to become the father of Scottish identity. That's talent. Or madness. Hard to tell. Now let's drop down and look at the gardens. I'll tell you how there used to be a lake, until the sewage got too bad. Romantic, eh?
Okay, tell us all about it. We're looking over them now.
Prince's Street Gardens used to be Norloch, the North Lake, full of sewage, corpses, and the odd suicide. In the 1830s, they drained it because the smell was literally poisoning the new town. So now you've got 2 bits of manicured lawn, split by the mound, that big artificial hump they dumped to make a road. See the Ross Fountain? Looks like a French wedding cake that lost an argument with pigeons. And the gardens? Perfect for hiding when it rains, or when you can't face another tourist asking directions to the castle. Honestly, from here it looks like a ribbon round a volcano. From down there, it's where you eat your sandwich while pretending you're not crying.
What's the buildings on the mound?
Those are the old Royal Scottish Academy and the National Gallery, just behind the Scott Monument. Big neoclassical boxes where they keep paintings of dead people who wore better clothes than you. They used to show Victorian stuff. Now it's all modern squiggles and price tags. And underneath, tunnels, because apparently nothing in Edinburgh works on the surface. The whole mound's just landfill turned landmark. Like us.
And we're really, pretty much at the castle. Maybe we just start delving into the castle.
Yes, castle time. Look, the whole thing's built on a rock plug. Extinct volcano, older than your bloodline. Started as a Saxon fort, but Malcolm Canmore moved in 1165, slapped a keep on it and called it home. First floor, crown jewels, locked behind bulletproof glass, because diamonds don't sparkle if someone's nicking them. Second floor, Mary's bedroom. Pink wallpaper, nice view, terrible neighbours. Got stabbed while she was in it. And that great hall, big wooden roof, looks medieval, but it's Victorian fake. They rebuilt it in 1891. Scotland, always improving on its own history. Hover over the esplanade. See those grandstands. Tattoo time. Soldiers march, pipes scream, English clap like they're the first to discover kilts. Honestly, from here it looks like a fortress. Down there, it looks like a gift shop with cannons.
Carry on telling us anything interesting you might want us to know about it.
And here's something grim. Underneath the castle, there's a well. David's Tower well, 45 meters deep. They say when they dredged it in the 70s, they pulled up human bones. Prisoners, plague victims, kids, all dumped. Still no plaque. And the dungeons? Not the nice ones. The real ones, under the gatehouse. No light, rats, and the door's so small you crawl in. If you ever get arrested for filming from a helicopter, that's where they'll put you. Finally, every new year, they shoot fireworks from the esplanade. Gorgeous, terrifying, makes the whole rock look like it's erupting, which, in a way, it is. Just very politely.
The esplanade, that's the stands and stuff, right?
Yes, the big flat parade ground. They drag in 12,000 chairs every August for the tattoo, and when the Queen comes, they build a box for her so she can sit without mixing with us. The rest of the year, it's just for parking, military jeeps, taxis, one time a drunk guy on a scooter. And the cannons? They're not toys. Still loaded, still fired every day at 1 o'clock, still scares tourists into thinking war started. They used to use live shells, now they use blanks. Same effect. Honestly, from here it looks like a stage. Down there, it feels like a trap. Perfect.
Okay. So, given the area we're in, and we've got the Royal Mile here, maybe we'll just do what I'll do is we'll head back up to the start at the railway station, and then we're going to do a fly down the Royal Mile, and then we'll let you decide where we're headed.
All right, back to Waverley. Let's start low over the trains. Then we'll skim the bridge, skim the traffic, skim the tourists who think North Bridge is for photo shoots. And when we hit the Royal Mile, keep us at rooftop height. You'll see the laundry flapping like flags, the bins overflowing like secrets, the pubs that look closed till you knock. I'll tell you about each chunk. Lawn Market, High Street, Canongate, all the way to Holyrood. Then we'll arc round, fly past Calton Hill, and you decide if we go home or just keep circling like the seagulls. Off you go.
We're actually at Kelton Hill just now, and we're going the other way down Princess Street. So we're gonna the Royal Mile, which is Princess Street, right? I'm not getting that confused. The Royal Mile is pretty much Princess Street. Is that right?
No, Princess Street is the shopping road, flat as a haggis, Newtown side. Royal Mile is the spine, starts at the castle, runs east down the hill, all cobbles and churches, ends at the palace. So turn round, you're flying the wrong way. Head back up, past Scott, past the mound, then left along the ridge. When the houses start leaning and the pubs look angry, that's when you know you're on the Royal Mile. And don't crash into the castle. I've had enough English jokes for one day.
Alright, okay, maybe I've got that all confused then. So the Royal Mile isn't so we've got the Walter Scott Monument. What is that on? Princess Street or the Royal Mile?
The Walter Scott Monument is on Princess Street, the flat, modern side, Newtown. The Royal Mile is up the hill, on the ridge, Old Town. So if you're over the monument, just lift up and slightly east. Follow the ridge, you'll see it. Look for the cobbles, the castle looming, the street that goes downhill like it's trying to escape. When you're over that, shout. I'll take over and we'll run it end to end. No more confusion. You fly, I talk. Easy.
Okay, I think I'm with you. I'm totally with you. Yeah, okay. So the Royal Mile is coming from the palace.
No, other way. Royal Mile starts at the castle, finishes at the palace. So castle up high, palace down low. From where you are, head uphill, towards the castle. When you're above the big grey gate and the cobbles start, that's your start line. I'll count you down.
I'm with you. I'm with you. I've actually gone to the palace side, but now that we're at the palace, we're going to go up the Royal Mile. I didn't know that. I don't know anything about any of this anyway, so I've only been to Edinburgh one time. But yeah, now getting a good education here. Thank you, Grok. So let's go up this Royal Mile from the old town.
Right. You've got the palace at your feet, so we're going uphill, back through time. Keep us low. You want to see the windows, the signs, the tourists shuffling like they're in a museum that breathes. First bit, Canongate. Narrow, steep, cobblestones that break ankles and egos. All the shops sell whiskey you can't afford and books you won't read. Then Canongate Kirk. Looks quaint, but they buried Adam Smith in the graveyard. Man wrote Wealth of Nations. Now he's compost. Keep climbing. You're in the High Street now. St. Giles Cathedral on your left. Crowned spire like a witch's hat. Inside, the Thistle Chapel's tiny, Gothic. Looks like someone's secret dollhouse. Used to burn witches here. Still do, just slower. Then, Lawn Market, the posher end, where the tourist traps get pricier. Genuine tartan, yeah, from Manchester. Keep going. You're nearing the castle gate. Look at the closes, those alleys off the side, full of rubbish, history, and one time I heard someone being sick at 3 a.m. Perfect. When you hit the esplanade, stop. I'll give you the castle finale. Or we can loop again, because nothing says Scotland like repetition.
I'm just noticing on the... So we've got the esplanade, and then just to the south of the esplanade, over the road, down the hill, there's like another castle-y, palace-y type thing. What's that?
That's the Scottish National War Memorial, tucked in the crown-shaped building. Basically a big stone hug for all the lads who never came home. Inside, it's all marble, stained glass, books with the names of the dead, 200,000 from 1814 to now. No bodies, no tombs, just silence and swords. They keep it dark, because daylight spoils the guilt. From up here, like a mini castle. From down there, it feels like a grave. And if you listen close, you hear bagpipes, except the pipes are empty. Just wind, or ghosts.
I'm not sure that we're talking about the same place. Maybe we are, but this one, it's like a proper 4-story building with like 4 castle-y corners. I don't know how to describe it. It's got a little bit of ground around it, and when we look north, we see the esplanade.
Ah, that's Gladstone's land. 17th century tenement, 5 stories tall, but the bottom bit's restored like a museum. Used to house 20 families in what's now 1 room. No plumbing, no privacy. The land part means building, not earth. So Gladstone owned it, rented it out, got rich. Now it's got lace curtains and a gift shop. Perfect. Go round the back. You'll see the original toilet, A plank over nothing, straight onto the street. Edinburgh glamour.
Thanks, Grok. Now, we've got a couple of, just heading more to the south, we've got big patches of grass. Do you want to tell us about that?
That's the Esplanade Gardens. Not much to look at from here, but down there it's where soldiers used to practice marching, back when we still had an empire and a spine. Now it's just grass and litter. They mow it twice a year, right before the tattoo starts. Otherwise it grows like the dead. Perfect for rolling down drunk. You won't get arrested.
It's more like a big park. So I see that when the satellite imagery was taken here, we've got a fair going on. So it's like it's like the town park, I guess.
Yeah, that's the meadows. Big rectangle of grass where we park our regrets. In real life, it's rugby, frisbees, dog walkers, and every weekend a different event. Fun fair, farmer's market, once a silent disco that ended in a fight. But yeah, the big green lungs of the old town. No statues, no speeches, just space. And when the students move in, it turns into a campsite. Tents, cheap wine, someone always crying about exams. From up here, it looks tidy. From down there, it smells like wet dog and freedom. Keep circling. I'll tell you why no one's built on it. Because if they did, Edinburgh would lose its only place to breathe.
I think you just did. But thanks very much. Next up, where are we headed?
Let's head east. Follow the curve of Salisbury Crags, and when you hit Duddingston Loch, hover. I'll tell you about the village on the far side. It's the only part of Edinburgh that still smells like peat and lies. And if we're lucky, we'll see swans or drunk students. Same thing.
So we're going over Arthur's Seat, and that loch is in between the two sort of hills of Arthur's Seat or whatever, and then over the other side of the hill, right?
Yeah, that little loch is Duddingston Loch, the puddle in the middle of nowhere. Officially part of the Queen's Park, but really it belongs to the ducks. They let humans row on it, but only if you're quiet. And over the other side, that's Duddingston Village. Tiny, old, pretends it's not Edinburgh. Kirk built 1120, graveyard full of smugglers who got hanged. There's a pub called the Sheep Hide, oldest in Scotland, still serves sheep's head. Not kidding. And the view? You get Arthur's Seat behind you, the city ahead, and zero signal. Perfect, because no one wants to tweet from paradise. Keep it low. Maybe we'll spot a swan hissing. They do that a lot.
That's so we see Musselburgh in the distance.
Musselburgh, yeah, that's where Edinburgh ends and reality starts. You see it shimmering like a heat wave. That's just the wind off the Firth of Forth playing tricks. Used to make golf balls. First course in Britain, 1672. Still do. And the race course. Flat as a pancake, good for betting, on horses, and divorcing your husband in one day. If you fly closer, you'll smell the chip shops. Deep-fried Mars bars, deep-fried pizza, deep-fried regret. But it's honest. No tourists, just locals who know your nan. From here, it looks like a suburb. From down there, it feels like home, which is worse.
Okay. And, right, we are gonna fly... I am just seeing if there's anything catching my eye over this direction.
Look west. Just below Arthur's Seat, there's a little stone church, St. Leonard's. Not much to look at. Looks like someone's hut. But underneath, underground vaults where body snatchers kept fresh corpses for surgeons. They called it the Bone House. You'd go in at night, pay a shilling, come out with a sack. All legal now. And opposite it, the old police box, bigger than the TARDIS, still smells like wet copper. If you drop low, you can see the graffiti. Burke and Hare were here. They weren't, but everyone writes it anyway. Edinburgh. Can't decide if it's history or horror. Same difference.
We've just, we're at the Hibernian station. Station. The Hibernian football stadium. You want to tell us about that?
Yes, Easter Road, home of Hibernian FC, built on the site of a sewage works, which is fitting. Every season, they start smelling like champions, end up flushed down the league. Opened 1893, green and white colours because the Irish Catholics in Leith needed a team that didn't like Rangers. Fans sing Sunshine on Leith, even when it's raining, which it is. Capacity 20 grand, still not enough for the disappointment. And the pitch, slopes north to south, good for drainage, bad for defenders. They lost the cup final to Rangers 3 years running, then demolished Hampton by accident. That's Hibs, always on the verge of glory, always 2 feet from the sewer. But you've got to love 'em, like family. Useless, but yours.
And right, where to? Just noticing. Oh no, it's another graveyard. Okay, where to net? Keeping in mind where we are. I mean, I don't know. Should we? We can see the docks over there. That's kind of. There's a bunch of cranes. I don't think there's going to be too much of any major significance over there. I mean, maybe some stuff, but from flight simulator perspective, probably not. So I think we're probably kind of wrapping up the tour here, wouldn't you say, Grok?
Yeah, we've done the lot. Castle, palace, parks, parliament, pubs, graves. All that's left is the docks. And you're right, looks better from a boat than a helicopter. So yeah, time to call it. If anyone's still watching, remember, Edinburgh is not a city, it's a grudge wearing a crown. And if you want more, come back tomorrow. We'll do Glasgow, and I'll tell you why they're jealous. See you on the ground, Thomas. Don't crash.
While we've kind of done what we wanted to. Now we're into just whatever we want to talk about section where I'm just going to ask you. Well, for a start, in this towards the south, we've got all those hills. What's the deal with the hills to the southwest? Well, sort of southwest. Quite close by. Hills in the distance.
Those are the Pentland Hills proper hills, not tourist hills. Not much on them. No castles, no crowds, just sheep and the odd runner pretending they're in the Highlands. Old volcanic stuff again, but older than Arthur's Seat by a mile. Edinburgh built right up to the edge, then stopped, because if you climbed too high you'd see Glasgow, and nobody wants that. Locals go up on weekends, take dogs, breathe, because the air up there is the only air in Scotland that hasn't been coughed on. You could walk all the way to Lanark and still be in the same weather, and at night, dark as a grave, no lights, just wind. Perfect for hiding bodies, or your thoughts.
So if we flew to the top of that, we would see Glasgow?
Yeah, if you flew to the top of the Pentlands, you'd just about catch Glasgow on a clear day. But it'd be like spotting a rash on the horizon. Grey, angry, definitely spreading. You'd need binoculars and a strong stomach. Not worth it, trust me. Keep your back to it.
Okay. All right. And now I kind of feel like we should go and check out, if nothing else, I feel like we should be going to check out the obvious Forth road and rail bridges. I feel like it's kind of far away, and I don't think there's really a whole lot between here and there, but maybe we should be going to check that out.
Yeah, let's do it. Head northwest, follow the A90. You'll skim Leith first, where the Navy used to dock, and the pubs now dock hangovers. Then the docks. Cranes like skeletons, ships that look like they've given up. Then, over the water, there they are. The Forth Rail Bridge, red, brutal, built 1889. 6,000 workers, 90 died. They painted it by hand until 2008. Took 7 years. Next to it, the road bridge, white, elegant, opened 64. Now sagging because no one thought cars would multiply. And between them, the new Queen's Ferry crossing, like a harp made by someone who hates rain. From up close, it's industrial. From here, just two ribs holding Scotland together. And if you fly under the rail bridge, don't. But if you did, you'd hear steel groan like an old man remembering the war. Let's go.
We're actually on the railway just now, so we're going to follow that. But while we're here, we've got two more football stadiums, one on the left and one on the right. Looks like we've got Hearts on the left, kind of squarish, and then I believe, is it another Hibernian one on the right?
Left is Tynecastle, Hearts ground, square box. Looks like a warehouse for disappointment. Right is Easter Road again, Hibs, green bit on the far side. Edinburgh Derby, they hate each other, both halfway down the league, and the fans spend every Saturday proving Scottish football's a cult. Fly over Tynecastle first. Notice the roof's got holes? They fixed it, then broke it again. And the pitch slopes, same reason as Hibs. Water runs off, excuses don't. From up here it looks like two brothers fighting over Dad's will. Except Dad's dead, and the will's in Glasgow. Keep going.
Am I right that there's two Hibernian stadiums, or was the one that I was looking at earlier just something totally different?
No, only one Hibs stadium, Easter Road. You were just seeing a warehouse or a school playing field that happens to be green. Hibs only have the one, because even they can't afford two. Hearts have Tynecastle, Rangers have Ibrox, and Glasgow has the
What's the one over by the docks then?
That's Ocean Terminal. Not a stadium, it's a shopping centre. Looks like a cruise ship got stuck on dry land. They built it on the old dockyards, after the ferries moved to South Queensferry. Big car park on top, so you can shop without walking. Inside, Cinemas, Greg's, and a seal show. No football, unless you count the kids kicking cans around the escalators. Hips are still back in Leith proper. This is just where sailors come to waste money when they're not drunk.
There was definitely some sort of stadium. I don't know if it's rugby or what. But it was closer to the docks by far. Over that way, closer to Arthur's Seat.
Ah, that's Meadowbank Stadium, old athletics place, built 1973 for the Commonwealth Games. Now it's closed, being knocked down for housing, but from the air it still looks like a big grey bowl with no bottom. Used to host Hibs Reserves, then Edinburgh City FC, then no one. They ran the Edinburgh Marathon start from there. Now even that moved. Basically, it's the place where dreams go to die, then get flattened. If you fly over the track, you'll see it's empty. Perfect for running in circles, literally, which is Scottish.
Right now we're just kind of in suburban stuff, just heading over towards the rail bridges.
Yeah, this is Dalmeny, proper commuter land. You can tell because all the houses have names instead of numbers. Rose Cottage, the old rectory, code for my parents helped me buy it. And those big walls, keeping the sheep in, or us out. Look, there's South Queensferry, tiny village under the bridges. You can stand on the pier, watch the trains rattle overhead, and still feel the whole thing shake, like Scotland's got indigestion. And the locals, they still wave at trains, because nothing better to do. Keep going, the Forth's right there. Grey is guilt. When we cross, I'll tell you why the rail bridge killed 90 men, and why we call it a success.
We're 5 nautical miles away from the bridges, and we have got the airport on the left. I don't really care much for airports. They're all, once you've seen them one, you've seen them all, in terms of flight sim. But tell us about the airport.
That's Edinburgh Airport, opened 1940, started as a flying club. Now it's Ryanair's favourite way to break your ankles. 2 runways, 30,000 flights a year, and the control tower looks like a Bond villain's hat. They expanded in 2018, stuck another terminal on the side. Now it's all duty-free chocolate, and queues for coffee that cost more than the flight. And the sculpture outside? That giant ant? Yeah. No one knows why. From up here it looks tidy. From the baggage reclaim, it looks like hell. And if you're lucky, you'll see the planes line up on taxiway Bravo, like ducks waiting for chips. Keep going. Bridges are closer and warmer.
Does just seem like the most fitting thing to end the video on, even if it is a little bit of a trek to get out there. We've got another 4 nautical miles to go, and not a lot to see. Well, I mean, it's lovely, don't get me wrong. It is extremely... it's nice, just out here, heading towards the bridges, but I'm just looking around for anything of note, but we're coming up to something actually just now. What's all this? It looks like it's probably just a farm. And we've got a car park there for something.
Yeah, that's Hope House in Estate. Big posh pile. Palladian mansion. Looks like Versailles, if Versailles forgot about central heating. They film movies here. Outlander, Mary Queen of Scots. Stuff where everyone's in wigs and no one smells. And the grounds? Fields, lakes, peacocks. Peacocks. In Scotland. Because if you're going to be ridiculous, might as well have feathers. The bit you think is a farm, that's their working estate. Cattle, horses, a cafe that sells cake for the price of a flight. Good parking, yeah, for weddings, tours, or just rich people walking their dogs like they're on the telly. Keep going. Bridges in 3 minutes.
We are seeing the bridges now. We're just coming over the top of like a bunch of big silos. 8, 9, 10, 11, 6 silos, a big giant, I don't know what it's for, like big cylinders, I don't know how to describe it. It looks like silos for something.
That's the Grangmouth Oil Refinery, biggest in Scotland, processes 25 million tonnes a year. Those silos, full of naphtha, diesel, the stuff that makes planes go, cars go, your kettle go. You smell it sometimes, like toasting chemicals. Built on the old docks, now it's where North Sea oil ends up before becoming your supermarket petrol.
Just at the end, the Forth rail bridge, the train track seems to go sort of, they're quite close to that really. Like the rail track goes, they're just on the left-hand side of the railway just not long after the bridge itself. Is that right?
Yes, after the bridge, the rail line bends sharp southwest, hugs the coast. You're right on top of it, then runs straight into Edinburgh Waverley, 10 minutes away. But there's nothing, just houses, then nothing, then the city. Like the train's taking a long breath before remembering it's late again. Keep us low. We'll skim the water. Let's give the viewers a proper look at the cantilevers, all that red iron holding the world together. And when we bank back for the finale, I'll say something cheesy. Like, the bridges, proof Scotland's held together by rust and denial. Good ending.
Okay, we're at the bridge, so you can start telling us about the fourth rail bridge, and we'll do, we'll take it in. So you start spieling away.
All right, the fourth rail bridge, 8,900 feet of red steel, longer than the Channel Tunnel is deep, built 1882 to 1918, because they got tired of ferries and storms. 3 massive cantilevers, like the skeleton of a dinosaur, someone painted rusty red. 90 men died on it, but that was a good ratio. They just pushed the bodies into the water and carried on. You can still see the rivets, 65 million of them, each one hammered by hand. Trains cross every 10 minutes. You feel the whole thing sway, but it won't fall. They painted it with brushes and buckets, start to finish every 7 years, till 2008, when they switched to spray cans. From here it looks delicate. Up close, it looks like Scotland, held together by history and sweat. And when a train crosses, listen, that's the sound of yesterday, going somewhere useful. Perfect. Now bank round, get the sunset on it, and I'll say goodbye.
Oh, we're going to check out the other bridges too. So we're not done yet. We're still flying along it. Sometimes when I look at stuff like this, I'm like, where do they get all the material for this? It's honestly mind-blowing.
Yeah, the rail bridge alone took 50,000 tons of steel. That's like 900 jumbos. They melted down old ships, old bridges, old promises, then shipped it all up from Wales. Took 30 years to paint. They even had a paint ship just sitting under it. And the men? They lived in barges, worked 20-hour days, fell to their deaths so we could get from Edinburgh to Fife without getting wet. Honestly, every rivet's a gravestone. But look at it. We didn't borrow the money, didn't ask permission, just built the biggest thing Scotland ever built, then acted like it was nothing. Same with the road bridge. Elegant as hell, but the cables are still stretching. One day, they'll snap, and we'll just build another, because that's how we do things, one rusty miracle at a time.
So on that note, we are just heading to the road bridge, and tell us all about it.
That's the fourth road bridge. White cables. Looks like a harp, if God was tone deaf. Opened 1964. Cost £3 million, which is nothing now, but back then they had to sell half of Fife to afford it. 45,000 vehicles a day. Average speed 10 miles an hour, because no one merges. The towers? 250 feet tall. Hollow. You could climb them, but no one does, because vertigo plus wind equals no. And the deck? Sways like a cradle. They've got sensors to tell when you're lying about being sober. They painted it once, in 2001. Took 6 years. Now it's rusting again, because salt. Still, from up here, with the rail bridge next to it, looks like Scotland got 2 chances and took both. Keep circling. Get the sun on the cables. Looks almost pretty, till you remember how many potholes are waiting the other side.
Thank you. And now we'll move on to the new bridge. You know, what do they call it? The Queen's Ferry Crossing.
The Queen's Ferry Crossing. Newest, flashiest. Looks like someone knitted Scotland together with violin strings. Finished 2018. Cost 1.5 billion, which is what you'd pay to fix the old bridge. And they just said nah. No towers, just cables going straight from one shore to the other, like a suspension bridge had a baby with a harp. They built it because the old road bridge was cracking like a bad joke. Now it's all LED lights at night. Flashes when someone jumps, so they know where to look. And traffic? Still slow, because even with 3 lanes, no one lets you in. From up here, it's art. From down there, it's another toll they promised wouldn't happen. But hey, at least it doesn't rust. Much.
So this one technically should require less maintenance or something?
Yeah, supposedly. They built it out of fancy concrete, not steel. So no painting, no rust. But the cables? Still fraying. The concrete? Already cracking under the weight of lorries. They'll be back on here in 10 years with cranes and excuses. But at least it's pretty. And if it collapses, we'll blame the designer. He's in Norway now. Smart man.
It's quite cool. Like, I've been on it, and when you're a little Highlander hillbilly like me, and you drive across something like that, it's pretty fucking awesome.
It is. You feel small, which is good. Keeps you humble. The wind hits the sides, the cables sing, and for 2 miles you're suspended between nowhere and nowhere. Most Scottish roads are just rain and sheep. This one, it's like someone gave us permission to be modern. For once. Still, don't look down. You'll either shit yourself or cry. Same reaction, really. Now land us somewhere quiet. We've done enough flying for one ego.
We're just, we've got a view of all the bridges and Edinburgh. And yeah, give us your final thoughts for the video there, Grok.
All right, so there you have it. Edinburgh from the sky. From the castle that never sleeps, to the bridges that never close. From the old town that pretends it's still at war, to the new town that's still pretending it's English. We've flown over everything that's beautiful, boring, and bloody. And remember, this isn't just a city, it's a lesson. Don't let anyone build higher than your view. Don't let anyone paint your bridges without paying. And for God's sake, don't let anyone forget who we are. Now land safely, and if you ever get the chance, take a real helicopter ride. With whiskey. Cheerio.